we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we heard that Sati, she wants to go to that sacrifice organized by her father Daksha, and she was requesting Shiva that they should go together, and there is no need of invitation because friend, parents, all this, no need invitation. Then Shiva said, yes, that is true, but if friend does not like his guest because of bodily identification, then there will be problem. And also that arrow piercing your body is big pain. But if someone who is near to you speaking piercing words, then that is even more painful. So Shiva then continuing, your father thinks I did not give him respect. But I am always giving respect to everyone, to Vasudev in their heart, in that pure consciousness. I am not giving respect based on bodily thinking. Oh, he's very rich, oh, so I will respect him for my own interest. But I will not respect someone who is poor or someone who is ugly. I will not. So I am not on that bodily platform. But he was expecting that respect on bodily platform, but I cannot do that. I'm already in transcendence. I'm giving respect, due respect to all, seeing Krishna in them and their relation with Krishna in that way. So I'm always engaged in offering obeisances to Lord Vasudeva in pure Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is always pure consciousness in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Vasudeva, is revealed without any covering. So how I can go down from transcendental to some bodily these things? That is impossible for me. I'm always engaged in offering obeisance to Krishna. How I can offer obeisance to someone on bodily, for bodily respect something? Tate nirikshyo napitapi dehakrit daksho mamadvit tat anuvratas chaye yo vishvasrik yagya gatam varorumam anagasam durvacha sakarot tira. Therefore, you should not see your father, although he is the giver of your body, because he and his followers are envious of me. Because of his envy, O most worshipful one, he has insulted me with cruel words, although I am innocent. See here. Wait. Vara Uru, worshipful one. Means husband also respecting wife, due respect. Not he will put down and disrespect. That is not. So I am innocent. I am giving respect to everyone. But he did not understand this. He thought I insulted him. That is why he's now envious of me. So you don't see your father, because that piercing words will come to your heart. They will give you much pain. Yadi vraji shyasi ati hayamat vacho badram bhavatya na tato bhavishyati sambhavitasya svajanat parabhavo yada sasadyo maranaya kalpate. If in spite of this instruction you decide to go, neglecting my words, the future will not be good for you. Shiva already sees what will happen, because he's a realized soul, and also even someone who is intelligent, who can understand, he can see the consequence of certain actions. One who is blinded, he cannot see. But Shiva can see, so the future will not be good for you. You are most respectable, and when you are insulted by your relative, this insult will immediately be equal to death. Chapter 4. Sati quits her body. Maitreya Uvach. Etavat uktva virarama shankara patnyanga nasham hyu bhayatra chintayan suhri didrikshu parishankita bhavan nishkramati nirvishati dvidasa sa. The sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva was silent after speaking to Sati, seeing her between decisions. Sati was very much anxious to see her relatives at her father's house, but at the same time, she was afraid of Lord Shiva's warning. Her mind unsettled, she moved in and out of the room as a swing moves this way and that. Suhrit didriksha pratighata durmana snehat rudati ashru kalati vihvala bhavam bhavani aprati purusham rusha pradakshyati vaikshata jata vepatu. Sati felt very sorry at being forbidden to go see her relatives at her father's house, and due to affection for them, tears fell from her eyes. Shaking and very much afflicted, she looked at her uncommon husband, Lord Shiva, as if she were going to blast him with her vision. Tato vinishvasya sati vihayatam shokena roshena cha duyata hrida pitror agat straina vimuda dir grihan premnatmano yordham adat satam priya. Thereafter, Sati left her husband, Lord Shiva, who had given her half his body due to affection. Breathing very heavily because of anger and bereavement, she went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. These desires, worldly desires, they bring us into these things. But we can learn, Sati also learned. Shiva already told her what will happen. But due to her weakness, Hridaurbalya, she went anyway. Thinking, if I will see them, then I will be happy. We are like, there is Fata Morgana, Phantasmagoria. We think there is water, but there is no water. Then ultimately we are frustrated. So this was less intelligent act. That is why Krishna says, your intelligence should be guided by your real self or by realized souls. Otherwise you will go wrong direction and you will have to suffer. Tam anvagachan druta vikramam satim ekam tri netra nucharah sahasrashah saparshada yaksha maniman madadaya puro vrishendra starasa gata vyata. When they saw Sati living alone very rapidly, thousands of Lord Shiva's disciples, headed by Maniman and Mada, quickly followed her with his bull Nandi in front and accompanied by the Yakshas. So here, Sai Maharaj telling, she was going very fast so that she might not be checked by her husband. She forcefully stopping her. She was going very fast, but they went after her. Here, Sati did not care that she was going alone, therefore she was almost fearless. The word Anucharah is also significant, for it indicates that Lord Shiva's disciples were always ready to sacrifice anything for Lord Shiva. All of them could understand the desire of Shiva and did not want Sati to go alone. Anucharah means those who can immediately understand the purpose of their master. Like there are different kinds of disciples. Someone can understand what master wants without master telling. He will know and he will do. They are fully surrendered. But there are some who will follow their master when he will tell them what to do. But there are some who will not follow even when they are told something. Tam Sarika Kanduka Darpanam Buja Shweta Tapatra Vyajana Srak Adibih Gitayaner Dundubi Shanka Venubir Vrishendram Aropya Vitankita Yayu. The disciples of Lord Shiva arranged for Sati to be seated on the back of a bull and gave her the bird which was her pet. They bore a lotus flower, a mirror and all such paraphernalia for her enjoyment and covered her with a great canopy. Followed by a singing party with drums, conchs and bugles, the entire procession was as pompous as a royal parade. A Brahma Goshorjita Yagya Vaishasam Viprarshi Jushtam Vibhudaischa Sarvashah Mrit Darvayah Kanchana Darba Charmabir Nisrishta Bandham Yajanam Samavishat. She then reached her father's house where the sacrifice was being performed and entered the arena where everyone was chanting the Vedic hymns. The great sages, Brahmanas and demigods were all assembled there. And there were many sacrificial animals as well as pots made of clay, stone, gold, grass and skin, which were all requisite for the sacrifice. So this is not Kali Yuga. I think this was Satya Yuga, because they could offer animals, and here Sai Maharaj is explaining the animals gathered were not meant to be killed and eaten. The real purpose of a sacrifice was not to replace a slaughterhouse, but to test a Vedic mantra by giving an animal new life. They were sacrificed, but then they got new life. Animals were used to test the power of Vedic mantras, not for meat. So that was possible in Treta Yuga, when there were pure articles and also pure Brahmins, they can do. But not in Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga, because no pure articles, no pure Brahmanas. Tam agatam tatra na kaschanadriyat vimanitam yagya krito bhaya jana rite swasrir vai jananim cha sadara premashru kantyah pari shashvajur muda. When Sati with her followers reached the arena, because all the people assembled were afraid of Daksha, none of them received her well. No one welcomed her, but her mother and sisters, who with tears in their eyes and with glad faces welcomed her and talked with her very pleasingly. Only mother and sister, they received her well, but others not, because they were all afraid of Daksha. So this is the bodily platform. This, out of respect, like this. Like Dhruva's father Uttampat, he was attached to his wife Suruchi. That is why he could not be affectionate to his own son, because of that attachment. But one who is on transcendental platform, he is respecting everyone and he is friendly to everyone on that transcendental platform in relation to Krishna. He is well-wisher of everyone. But such souls are very rare in this world. Saundarya samprashna samartha vartaya matra cha matri shva shribishcha sadaram datam saparyam varam asanam chasa nadata pitra pratinandita sati. Although she was received by her sisters and mother, she did not reply to their words of reception, and although she was offered a seat and presents, she did not accept anything, for her father neither talked with her nor welcomed her by asking about her welfare. So Sati did not accept the greetings offered by her sisters and mother, for she was not at all satisfied by her father's silence. Sati was the youngest child of Daksha, and she knew that she was his pet. But now, because of her association with Lord Shiva, Daksha forgot all his affection for his daughter, and this very much aggrieved her. The material bodily conception is so polluted that even upon slight provocation, all our relationships of love and affection are nullified, because that is not real love. It is only your self-interest through that relation. It is not actual love. When that self-interest is not fulfilled, then that so-called love immediately transforms into hate. Personal interest is root cause of all this. So he was having desire for respect. Shiva did not give, so daughter is associating with Shiva, so he is not speaking with her. Bodily relationships are so transient that even though one is affectionate towards someone in a bodily relationship, a slight provocation terminates this intimacy. So this is not reliable at all. It is always changing. Today love, tomorrow hate. Because the root behind is self-interest. Ignorance, who I am and who is other, that is false ego and false interests. Then the clash of false interests, then it is transformed from love to hate. Arudra bhagam tam avekshya chadvaram pitra chadeve krita helanam vibho anadrita yagya sadasyadishwari chu kopa lokan iva dakshyati rusha. Present in the arena of sacrifice, Sati saw that there were no oblations for her husband, Lord Shiva. Next, she realized that not only had her father failed to invite Lord Shiva, but when he saw Lord Shiva's exalted wife, Daksha did not receive her either. Thus, she became greatly angry, so much so that she looked at her father as if she were going to burn him with her eyes. So Shiva already knew what will happen. Jagarha Samarsha Vipanaya Gira Shiva Dvisham Duma Pata Shramasmayam Svateja Sabhuta Ganan Samutitan Nigrihya Devi Jagato Bishrinvataha. That is why our Gurudev repeatedly used to say, you don't take any decision based on your mind and intellect, which are limited. You should be guided by a realized soul, because they are omniscient. They are beyond these limitations, so they are living in reality and they are seeing everything. So they know if you will do this type of action, this will be the result. So don't do this, you do this. Like someone who knows that is optical illusion, phantasmagoria, he will say, don't go there, there is no water there. You are thinking it is water, but it is not, don't go there. They can see. So if we have this fortune that we are able to accept the guidance of realized soul, Shastra, Krishna, Paramatma, Chaitya Guru, then we can do right actions. Otherwise, we will try to fulfill these material desires for enjoyment, and they already know what will be the consequence. So Shiva knew what will happen. So it is always good to follow the words of bona fide Guru. The followers of Lord Shiva, the ghosts, were ready to injure or kill Daksha, but Sati stopped them by her order. She was very angry and sorrowful, and in that mood she began to condemn the process of sacrificial fruitive activities and persons who are very proud of such unnecessary and troublesome sacrifices. That is, fruitive activities. She especially condemned her father, speaking against him in the presence of all. Generally, this should not be done to someone superior in like status. If you have to say something against, then you have to do in private, so that others don't see and their respect is not harmed. Means dignity is not harmed, so should not. But she did in front. Devi Uvach. Nayasya lokestyati shayanah priyas tata priyo deha britam priyatmana tasmin samastatmani mukta vairake rite bhavantam katamah pratipayet. The blessed goddess said, Lord Shiva is the most beloved of all living entities. He has no rival. No one is very dear to him, and no one is his enemy, because he's not making this distinction based on bodily identification. Like our country is ally with that country, so we are friends, but that is enemy. That is another country. So realized soul does never have any enemies and friends based on some bodily distinction. So the blessed goddess said, Lord Shiva is the most beloved of all living entities. He is really their well-wisher of all. He has no rival. No one is very dear to him and no one is his enemy. No one but you could be envious of such a universal being who is free from all enmity. all pure devotees like Prahlad, Haridas, Shiva, all, they are free from all enmity because they see everyone as related to Krishna. So how they can hate? How they can want to harm? If you love Krishna, you love all his parts. You cannot injure his parts. Those who can see this relation, they have no enmity. Doshan paresham hi guneshu sadavo grinanti kechi na bhavadrisho dvija gunam scha phalgun bahuri karishnavo mahatamas teshvavidat bhavan agham. Twice born Daksha, a man like you can simply find fault in the qualities of others. Lord Shiva, however, not only finds no faults with others' qualities, but if someone has a little good quality, he magnifies it greatly. Unfortunately, you have found fault with such a great soul. Yes, this is only pure soul can have such quality. Otherwise, impossible. We, means I, with false ego and with desires for respect, all this, I cannot see good qualities in others. Even if they are, I will try to twist them, spin them, twist to show no, they're not actually, and I will magnify their drawbacks. But a real pure devotee, he can see good qualities and he will magnify them. And even little good quality he will already appreciate. Such pure, we can say, we can understand everything, but such pure soul is not so easy. Very difficult. Practical life, we can understand, but in practical life to act like that, that is not so easy, and such souls are very rare in this world. Nascharjam etat yat asatsu sarvada mahat vininda kunapatma vadishu sersham mahapurushapada panksubir nirasta tejahsu tat eva shovanam. It is not wonderful for persons who have accepted the transient material body as the self to engage always in deriding great souls. Such envy on the part of materialistic persons is very good because that is the way they fall down. They are diminished by the dust of the feet of great personalities. There, in explaining the four anarthas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Bhajan Rahasya says, Sarup Brahm means misconception of self. Then Asa Trishna, thirst for non-eternal. Then Hridorbalya, weakness of heart, and Aparat, offense. Our Gurudev explained the root cause of all is this misconception of self. I am this body. Then bodily interest is my interest. Then for this bodily interest, I will commit offense. So they will be destroyed by the dust of the feet of great personalities. Yat dvyaksharam nama gireritam nrinam sakrit prasangat agham ashu hantitat pavitra kirtim tam alangya shasanam bhavam aho dveshti shivam shivetaraha. Sati continued, my dear father, you are committing the greatest offense by envying Lord Shiva, whose very name, consisting of two syllables, Shi and Va, purifies one of all sinful activities. His order is never neglected. Lord Shiva is always pure, and no one but you envies him. Yat pada padmam mahatam mano libir nishevitam brahma rasa sa vartibhi lokasya yat varshati chashisho arthinas tasmai bhavan druhyati vishwabandhave. You are envious of Lord Shiva, who is the friend of all living entities within the three worlds. For the common man, he fulfills all desires, and because of their engagement in thinking of his lotus feet, he also blesses higher personalities who are seeking after Brahmananda, or transcendental bliss. So Shiva can fulfill also these ordinary desires, and those who want eternal welfare, he will also fulfill that. That is the difference between Shiva, if you worship, and some Vaishnava Acharya. Shiva will also fulfill worldly desires, if you want. But if you are intelligent, you have Sukriti, all this, then he will give you transcendental intelligence and pure devotion. Both he can give. But generally, those who are Vaishnava Acharyas, like as a demigod, if you worship him, then he will fulfill. But sometimes he fulfills spiritual also, as in the case of the Jivan Chakravarti. He took him to Sanatana Goswami, he sent him to Sanatana Goswami, and so many other examples also. But Vaishnava Acharyas, if you are having non-eternal desires in your heart, and if you are praying to them, then they will explain to you, no, this is not good. This is not good. Like one lady came to our Gurudev and she was crying, and she said, you please bless me, I have no child. Let me get a child. Then Gurudev said, why you are coming to sadhus for such non-eternal things? She wanted to have a child for her own purpose. So sadhus don't come to this world to fulfill our material desires. They want to rescue us from our material desires because they know they will give us suffering. But if someone comes to Shiva, then he will fulfill whatever you want. If you want child, he will give. But you will get some lesson through that. Yes. He can give liberation also, here it is mentioned, or he can give devotion also. Kim va shivakyam ashivam navidus tvat anye brahmadayas tam avakirya jatah shmashane tan malya bhasma nri kapali avasat pishachair ye murdabir dadati tacharana vasrishtam. Do you think that greater, more respectable personalities than you, such as Lord Brahma, do not know this inauspicious person who goes under the name Lord Shiva? He associates with the demons in the crematorium. His locks of hair are scattered all over his body. He is garlanded with human skulls and smeared with ashes from the crematorium. But in spite of all these inauspicious qualities, great personalities like Brahma honor him by accepting the flowers offered to his lotus feet and by placing them with great respect on their heads. Great person can recognize great person and can give respect because they can understand his qualities. Karno pidaya nirayat yata kalpa ishe dharma vitari a srinibir nribir asyamane chindyat prasahya rushatim asatim prabushchech jihvam asun api tato visrijet sadharma. Sati continued, if one hears an irresponsible person blaspheme the master and controller of religion, one should block his ears and go away if unable to punish him. But if one is able to kill, then one should by force cut out the blasphemer's tongue and kill the offender. And after that, one should give up his own life. That is Kshatriya can do. But the Brahmins, they will debate, and cutting off the tongue means they will refute all their wrong statements and make them silent. That will be like cutting off their tongue. And killing yourself, cutting your tongue means die to live, means you have to give up your false ego and give up that worldly talking. Only singing the glories of Krishna is allowed. That means kill yourself. You have to die to live. But there are different applications of this according to yuga and everything, circumstance. In Kali Yuga, it is not allowed to kill, but either you should protest and live, but if you are able to, then through refutation you should cut his tongue. But you should not tolerate, you should protest. If someone blasphemes pure devotee or Supreme Lord. Atas tavot pannam idam kalevaram na darayishye shiti kanta garhina jagdhasya mohat-dhi vishuddhim andaso jugupsitasyo dharanam prachakshate. Therefore, I shall no longer bear this unworthy body which has been received from you, who have blasphemed Lord Shiva. If someone has taken food which is poisonous, the best treatment is to vomit. Naveda vadan anuvartate matih sva eva loke ramato mahamune yatha gatir deva manushyayoh pritak sva eva dharme na param kshipet stita. It is better to execute one's own occupational duty than to criticize others. Yes, do oil your own machine. You do good. Don't speak about others. You yourself do good. Elevated transcendentalists may sometimes forego the rules and regulations of the Vedas since they do not need to follow them. Just as the demigods travel in space, whereas ordinary men travel on the surface of the earth. Humans can travel here, but they can on sky also. But like that, those who are on transcendental platform, they don't need to follow these rules and regulations to bring you to transcendental, because already they are. So you should not criticize them. But of course, one must be transcendentally situated. If someone is outwardly showing the dress, like that I am Paramahansa, Babaji, or like Avadut, showing outwardly, but he's not actually on transcendental platform and doing immoral activities and justifying, no, I'm Paramahansa, then that is Dharma Dvaji, that is hypocrite. And there are such hypocrites also in Kali Yuga, and bad name comes. So that is why, as you know, Prabhupada intentionally wanted to take, he took sannyas so that he is bound by the rules and regulations of Shastra for ideal character, so that no one can make that excuse. No, so that he cannot make excuse, no, I can do whatever I like because I'm Paramahansa. Everyone can see his character, so by his ideal character, he showed the transcendental glory of his Gurudev, pure Babaji, pure Paramahansa. Or like Banshidas Babaji Maharaj, also pure. He worshipped them. By that way, he showed their dignity. Ordinary people, when they will see the character of Prabhupada, they will worship him. They must worship him. He's commanding that kind of respect. Not demanding, but commanding. By his ideal character, he's commanding respect. So when people, those who will respect him, see his ideal character, when they will see he's worshipping Babaji, then they will stand, oh, Babaji is not bad. Because that was the general thinking of people. Babaji is their immoral character they are doing. But oh, if he's worshipping Babaji, then that is another thing. But which Babaji? Pure Babaji he was worshipping. Karma pravritam cha nirvritam apritam vede vichyo lingam ashritam viroditat yoga padaika kartari dvayam tatha brahmani karma narchati. In the Vedas, there are directions for two kinds of activities. Activities for those who are attached to material enjoyment, and activities for those who are materially detached. In consideration of these two kinds of activities, there are two kinds of people who have different symptoms. If one wants to see two kinds of activities in one person, that is contradictory. But both kinds of activities may be neglected by a person who is transcendentally situated. Already he is there, so he does not need to follow any process to attain that. So he can, like someone broke his legs, so now he has to walk with the help of those sticks. But once he is cured, then he can walk without sticks. So like someone who his legs are not broken, He's walking without sticks. He does not need sticks. But that man who's broken, he needs sticks. So he may neglect both these processes. Those who are attached and those who are detached. Already he attained. That is why also Mahaprabhu told to Haridas Thakur, already you are perfected soul. You are pure devotee. You are all the time serving Krishna. You are all the time chanting Krishna's name for his satisfaction. All the time, by nature. There is no need for you to like show fixed number of chanting names. That is for sadhakas, we need fixed number so that we will have that regulation that we can purify ourselves and we can see whether we are progressing in our bhajan or not. That is there. It is necessary for us, but for Haridas Thakur it is not necessary. So Mahaprabhu told, no need for you to be sorry that you cannot now in old age, due to disease, you cannot chant so fast, so you could not finish 3 lakhs of names. Even if you want to do fixed number, you can do less also now in this circumstance. Means showing on Mala that he's always chanting. Then Haridas Thakur said, yes, that is actually not my real problem. My problem is, I don't want to see your disappearance pastime. I want to go before you. That is why. That is what. Then Mahaprabhu told what I can do. Krishna will fulfill the desire of his devotees. Then Haridas Thakur disappeared. So there is no need for Haridas Thakur to chant fixed number. He's perfected soul. Ma vah padavyah pitar asmat astita yagya shala sunadhuma vartma bih tad anna tripter asu bridbir irita avyakta linga avaduta sevitaha. My dear father, the opulence we possess is impossible for either you or your flatterers to imagine. For persons who engage in fruitive activities by performing great sacrifices are concerned with satisfying their bodily necessities by eating foodstuff offered as a sacrifice. We can exhibit our opulences simply by desiring to do so. This can be achieved only by great personalities who are renounced, self-realized souls. That is Satya Sankalpa they have. What they desire, that will happen. Every liberated soul has that Satya Sankalpa. But they desire only service of Krishna. So their desires for service of Krishna are fulfilled. Even Vedanta Sutra says that our spiritual body is like produced or made. Of course, that is eternal. That is only for the sake of saying. Is produced by our Satya Sankalpa. That desire of service to Krishna, that is making our that body, spiritual body. Naitena dehena hare kritagaso dehot bhave nalam alam kujan mana vrira mamabhut kujana prasangatas tad janma dik yo mahatam avadya krit. You are an offender at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. And unfortunately, I have a body produced from yours. I am very much ashamed of our bodily relationship, and I condemn myself because my body is contaminated by a relationship with a person who is an offender at the lotus feet of the greatest personality. I don't want to carry this body. It is coming from you, who are offender of Shiva, so I don't want this body. It is related to you. Gotram Tvadiyam Bhagavan Vrishadvajo Dakshayaniti Aha Yada Sudurmana Vyapeta Narma Smitam Ashutadaham Vyut Sraksha Etat Kunapam Tvat Angajam. Because of our family relationship, when Lord Shiva addresses me as Dakshayani, means born of Daksha, I at once become morose, and my jolliness and my smile at once disappear. It's daughter of Daksha, then she is not feeling good. I feel very much sorry that my body, which is just like a bag, has been produced by you. I shall therefore give it up. Father gives the semen, and then that body is produced. So Sati said, no, I don't want this body. I will give it up. So tomorrow we will hear what will happen.